Let's get back to our pal Marko here. He continues his creative process, and he talks a little bit about live performances and what have you, but I won't spoil it for you. Just simply experience it. He's quite an articulate gentleman, and I was very pleased of his responses and the way he was quite comfortable with me in the interview, so it says a lot about our pal. Marko.
We do like nice hotels because we do like our sleep. You don't get to sleep very much on tour. You're always tired, so even if you're happy, you're tired, and so it's a nice thing to have a good bed to sleep in, you know. Other than that, what we do just before the show, we do have this huddle and this thing we call the hand, which are our rituals, so, you know, but they serve to sort of bring us up to the level of walking on stage and being very live and very energetic and very present. So
it doesn't sound like you guys are any of those you do any of those classic hotel thrashings or anything like that, or
no, we're usually thrashed when we get to the hotel, so we just fall on the bed and sleep.
No wild parties for you guys, huh?
Well, you know, let's leave that to another day then.
This comes from member Andrew. He's wondering if you're influenced by any American artists by chance.
Oh, definitely. A lot of American artists influence us. Ever since the 80s, like, always been a huge fan of Eddie Van Halen, you know, Van Halen and Steve Vai and things like that. And I've been listening to a lot of grunge music, Alice in Chains, Pearl Jam. Metallica was a huge thing for me for many, many years. Even Prince and Tori Amos, for one thing, is a huge influence for me musically. And I think Captain has his roots a bit more in European music, but still, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot, those are just a few names that come to the top of my head, where, you know, I can just pick them out and give them to you, but there have been others, many others.
This might be a really off-the-wall question. I'm curious, what do you like the guys like doing in your free time? What kind of hobbies do you have, or what kind of things you enjoy doing when you're not performing or you're not writing music, perhaps?
We like stuff like, you know, some of us have pets and stuff, so we like to, you know, do stuff with our dogs, do a lot of sports. I work out. I like sailing. We do, like, stuff like that, you know, and I used to rock climb and do martial arts and stuff like that. So I think it's something that's definitely very much different from what we do with our heads. It has to be something we do with our bodies, you know, so to give us balance.
Oh, yeah, that does.
Just hang out with friends and families and really do nothing sometimes. And I like to read a lot, you know, watch movies and stuff. But, yeah, it's just really pretty regular stuff, something that gives you balance because and keeps you in shape, because you need to be in shape if you want to survive on tour.
Exactly. That makes perfect sense. Speaking of movies and the like, how interesting you should mention that again. Your song, the Happy Song, has the imagery in the video especially implies horror imagery, you know, that kind of terror imagery, that kind of films. Are you a horror fan by chance? Out of curiosity.
Well, I do like horror movies. Yeah, I personally do like more. Genres are really not that important, you know. Good movie is a good movie, but yeah, it does have that sort of Jack the Ripper slasher Shining kind of feel to it. But I think that's because it was. I'm trying to think whether we fitted in for it to be used in Alan Wake or
I think it was
the way around.
It seems to me it wasn't specifically for Alan Wake. I mean, I'm not sure.
Yeah, you're right. That's the way it was, and so it needed to have that sort of psycho feeling to it, and it was just. I remember when we wrote that, I was out with Sam to have some coffee and just to talk about the project, and he said he wanted to be, you know, something like this and something like that, and have a little bit of a slasher feeling to it, and something, you know, off the wall and stuff. And I think I wrote the lyric right there. And how's about this? And it took me like 5 minutes because there's not that many, you know, words in the lyric.
Yes.
So, I just said, how about this? He goes like, yeah, it looks right. And then and I said, okay, let me work on this a little bit. Let me think about this a little bit. And I ended up using the same Post-it note that I wrote the lyrics on to actually, you know, do the whole song. Because I was thinking that maybe I would add some more story and have like a real verse and chorus and maybe a bridge and maybe a C part, you know, all that stuff. But I ended up using those few lines that I wrote because they sort of, you know, they fit the bill so well, you know.
Yeah.
And of course, the music itself was it was like this old punk song that we wrote once, and Captain dug it up and goes like, well, I think this is going to work really good, and it did. And what we actually did, we had this pretty simple kind of music and these pretty simple lyrics, but what we did, we sang it through like I think 8 times, and every time I sang it through, Captain said that I needed to be a different character, and we were at the studio going like, ooh, what do you want me to sound like? Okay, why don't you sound like this mental institute doctor who's very matter of fact and doesn't really have any, you know, intonation to his voice? And I go, okay, violent schizophrenia. He's going like this, and then I needed to be this like sorry-ass loser who goes like, like stuff. And I had a lot of these different voices and different characters, and then when Captain produced the thing, he just, you know, picked the right ones and mixed them up, and that must have been a hell of a job to do that, because, you know, the song is just like, you can listen to it over and over again and find new things there all the time, so it's really, really cool.
Yeah, it is actually one of my favorites.